Welcome to Friendly Geordies presents Shawarma FM.
G'day, g'day.
It's been a while.
Has it?
We missed last week.
It has been a while. It was my fault.
Your fault, because you had to...
Band practice.
Nah, not even band practice.
What?
This guy, you know what he was doing?
What?
He was picking up shifts for a guy whose wife
Yes, we
is dying.
Yes.
And that's no excuse, my friend. That's no excuse. What?
Let's not talk
so
about
a man
that.
can have like a few extra moments with his wife?
Stop.
Is that why you missed the
Please.
point? Sorry.
No, that's not.
He was doing it for very noble reasons.
Yes.
It's actually the only reason where I go, all right, fair enough.
Yeah,
we can miss this week.
Yeah, we won't go into that because it's obviously a delicate thing.
Yeah, it's a delicate situation.
But
But good on you for that, because that was actually a very good thing you did.
All good.
Good on you for that.
But we're here. We're queer. We don't want any more bears.
We don't want any more.
A Simpsons.
If we're queer, then we want bears.
It's a Simpsons reference.
All right, let's start with the first segment. I wonder where... Should we start with the South Australian one? Because you have like a story about that, and I stopped you in the pre-show.
Yeah. Because I have stuff to talk about too.
So, the South Australian Premier, on one hand, there's a story where, the recent poll said that he's actually in a good position because One Nation is sort of gaining momentum everywhere, but polls indicate that the Labor Premier will hold the state.
I'm sure he will. It's the same thing in America where the Dems.
But he recently got into a little bit of trouble.
Go on.
Amongst, with the political environment that we're in, and being back in immigrants is not a popular thing. He said, "My message to One Nation voters is, who's going to feed you and bathe you and wipe your bum when you're 90? Because it ain't going to be your kids."
Yes.
And so he's actually saying that we need immigration because, there's this new One Nation or something is like, okay, we do need immigration, but we don't need immigration from shithole countries or developing countries.
Yeah.
We need immigrants from
Affluent.
Netherlands.
Yeah.
We need from Norway, as if they're queuing up, to come in droves.
Yeah.
But that's what we need. And the South Australian Premier was basically saying that, no, we need immigrants from developing nations as well to essentially wipe our butts.
Yes. So I recently, through my blue collar job, have been doing the windows of old folks' homes around Sydney. And it's been very eye-opening because I completely agree with him, because all the workers there are either Nepalese or Indonesian. And at first I was like, they're a bit snippy with them. I'm like, they're being a bit mean. But man, it would be a incredibly taxing, hard job. I'm sure it doesn't pay amazingly. So I am in complete agreement with that state. It's true.
But they still want to come because even though from Australian standards, it doesn't pay amazingly.
It's still...
But it's huge for, again... people from developing countries.
Sure. And
there's the incentive.
And they are lovely.
Because if you look, the idea that you can get doctors from Norway and Ireland, you can show them Australia has a great life. Also, you probably get paid more.
Yeah.
But the idea of getting Norwegians to come and wipe old people's butt in orange is going to be a tough sell. I don't know.
You're right.
Maybe they'll be queuing up.
No.
I have a feeling that Bangladesh might have more response to such an argument than fucking Netherlands.
Yes. And also these Indonesians, Nepalese and Filipinos are lovely people. They're naturally empathetic, especially Filipinos. They're very, very warm, lovely people.
But
we grew up with...
Do they believe in Australian values and our way of life?
Well, they like wiping people's butts. That's our main value.
That's not our way of life. Our way of life
to me
is to abandon them post-75.
Yeah. No, listen. There are situations where people are not able to look after people. It's not all that's a bad narrative that people are just abandoned. That's not necessarily. Some of them don't have families. Some of the families can't afford to.
And then there's a lot of people that don't want to wipe their parents' asses.
Yes, that is true. But it's a mixed bag. I am with him on that 100%. But I have some misadventures of my experience. Can I tell you them?
Yes,
they're not really misadventures. They're not funny stories. They're more just heartbreaking and intense. But can I tell you?
Yeah, go on.
Okay, I'll start off with one funny story. And then two intense ones. So I'm doing this as a job, The funny thing is, how good's this? I think it's funny. We were like, because you got to eat lunch or whatever. Anyway, we're like, we're gonna eat lunch anyway. We went to the old folks cafeteria and ate lunch with them.
Was it fun?
Yeah, the food was good. They had this like grilled perch, and I got stupidly a Thai curry, which was a bit of a rookie error because there wasn't much.
Do not get a Thai curry from an old people's home.
It was not
That's
good.
not rookie. That's an imbecile.
But to be fair, the portions were massive, and they just chucked on some extra spring rolls. I couldn't finish it. I'm like, this is too much food.
I think it's subsidized by the government.
Yeah, well, it's cheap, so yeah. But the perch was really good. Anyway, I thought that was kind of funny too, like grown-ass young men eating in an old folks and being like, Barnaby, put the TV up. You know, me. That's me. So that was that. But anyway, the thing that was really hectic was like there was this one lady and like there was some just real like home truths about getting older. All of them were being like, it just goes like that. It's a blink of an eye. You have no idea how quickly your life goes. And then one lady got a this is a bit like private, but like they're never going to watch this. So like there was one lady with like a card and we were like, oh, what happened? She was like, oh, it's like a, I don't know, wish you well card. I'm like, what happened? He's like, oh, my son just died. And we're like, what? And he's like, yeah, he just died of cancer. It was like he was diagnosed and then like 2 weeks later he died. It was a really aggressive form of cancer. I'm like, how old was he? And she was like, oh, like 45. And I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Fucking devastating.
But she was holding it together and she was like, oh, and then she was like, I've got one grandchild and she's lovely. So she's going to be okay. And I'm like, hey, what about her mother? And she's like, yeah, the mother's okay. And I'm like,
this is a typical mother-in-law.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a granddaughter. What about the mom? It's like, oh yeah, I guess. So.
Yeah. But that was just like one intense moment where I'm like, oh, this is full on. And then there was another moment where this old lady was kind of like talking about what Sydney used to be like, and she was like, you know, like was it Gladesville? No, it was somewhere not even there. She grew up in Drummoyne, and she was like, oh, you know, yeah. She was like, you know, Macquarie Uni. I'm like, I went to Macquarie Uni. She's like, you know what that used to be? And I was like, what? And she was like, all Italian farms, apple farms. I'm like, really? She was like, yeah, it was all apple orchards owned by Italians. I'm like, that's it's a crazy thought to me, you know. And then the government bought them out, and then they were building there. But then there was this other Sorry, this is maybe just incredibly boring. I thought.
No, it's fine. These people need to know that old people exist.
Yeah, but like the last one was that there was this lady and she was also really lovely and she was a dressmaker for David Jones. She had dementia, so she was forgetting a lot of stuff.
She kept saying she worked for Meyer.
Well, she kept forgetting what age she got married. She was like, I got married young. And then we're like, how old? And she's like, 50. And we're like, that doesn't make sense. You have children.
Start feeling a lot good about your life.
No.
Wow.
No, but she was incorrect. She had grandchildren. She was like, wait, do the math. And she was like, oh, you're right. So she had dementia. But she was saying this story was intense. She was like, you know, dressmaker, blah, blah, blah. And she was saying, oh, are these your kids? Because the guy I was working with is very, you know.
Older gentleman.
We all respect, me and this guy respect the older, because you have to respect them. They're incredible, you know. And she, you know, so it was very talkative. Everyone were very talkative, and they, you know, they're lovely people, all of them. And one of them was like, you know, he was like, "Is this your family?" He's like, "Yeah, it's our family." He's like, and he was like, "That's your son, daughter?" And she's like, "Yeah." And she was like, "What?" He was like, "Where does he live? Where does he live?" And she was like, "Oh, he's died." And we're like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And we didn't pry. I'm like, "Oh, so sorry." And then after I was like cleaning up, she had a sewing machine that doesn't work. Go figure. So many of these places I want to chuck out half their shit. I'm like, this is just rubbish. But I'm moving her giant sewing machine, and there was some little cool tag that said Jeffrey. It was like really 70s looking, and I was like, yeah, this is cool, like knick-knack. And she was like, yes, that was my son. And I was like, oh. And she was like, the one who died. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry.
Keep stepping on these landmines.
And then I asked,
is there anything over here that's not your dead son?
Yeah. But then I asked this poor lady.
How about this window? Can I open it, or is your dead son behind it?
Stop. I was because I'm a curious. You know this about me. I'm curious by nature.
Curious gentleman. Yeah.
Curious by nature.
Hey, some people say by curious,
and some people say by furious. That's Scott Pilgrim reference. Anyway, being inquisitive as I am, I said, if you don't mind me asking, I know you don't have to answer.
You don't mind me asking, is your son dead again?
No, stop. I was like, how did he die?
You did. Okay.
I said, how did he die?
He's a cancer, right?
No, this is a different person.
Oh, it's a different person.
Two different people.
Okay.
This lady's son died a long time ago. And because she said, "Oh, he was such a sweet boy. He was the sweetest boy." And I'm like, "Boy." I'm like, "Well, what?" I just said, "Like, what happened? If you don't mind me asking." And she said, "Well, we came to this. He was staying in this dorm, and we came and found him, and he was hanging from a rope, and he was just hanging there." But the crazy thing was, she said, he was hanging out with all these a bad crowd, and he was at this sort of like camp.
These goddamn immigrants.
Stop, please stop. I'm trying to say a heartfelt story. That's where this was going. It's like he was hanging there saying, "I blame the Somalis." I'm sorry. Ali does not represent me in this story. If it gets
sorry, I'm kidding. Go on.
He does not. I'm trying to be. This is a sad story.
Yeah, it is. Because
there's
nothing jovial about it. No Somalis in here.
You could see like the love for her. She said he's such a sweet boy. And but she said she was hanging out in this dorm, and it was like maybe like a holiday camp, and she said because this would have been a long time ago. And she said he got in with the wrong crowd, and there was a lot of boys there when it happened. And I was like, "What do you mean?" And she said, "Well, we don't know what happened. We don't know if they did."
Whoa.
Yeah. She said, "Well, we don't know what happened." And she was like, "We don't know if they did it. We don't know if he did it." And I was just like, and at that point I'm like, I'm not prying anymore. I was like, I bet
you he did it though.
Well, I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And then, but she was just, she just had love in her. She was just pure love. And she said it in a way that was kind of like, she came to terms with it a long time ago. She was just thinking about how lovely he was. But I'm like, bro, that is fucked.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Why do you say he did? Because you just think he did?
No.
Because dude, it could have been like, this could have been in the 60s where it was like, get Billy Boy on the, like, who knows?
It could be, but I'm just imagining a mom in a old age home looking back at her son that may or may not have killed himself. I think even if he did kill himself, it would just be so hard for her to believe that it almost would be comforting that someone else did it.
That's possible, but it seems to me, honestly, the way she said it, it just seems to me that it might have been nefarious, and the police were probably just like, look, especially back then, dude, it wasn't like forensic. They were probably just like, the boys said they didn't, but one boy said that we forced him, and it was probably just like, the case is closed. The children, we can't do anything. It's 1963, but it's horrible, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's just
horrible.
that was So
you're saying
I'm saying
vote Labor if you want to avoid all of these old age issues.
I'm just saying it was touching and beautiful and sad and kind of remarkable to get all these people's stories, and it was crazy, man. It was like, and you know what was another thing that I realized, man? All these obviously older people have photos of their youth, man. Dude, all these ladies were hot in their youth, like hot as, like I'm talking like 10s.
I mean, you might have some sailor eyes, but
I wasn't drunk. What do you mean?
No, I mean, I'm just saying, like, have you gotten laid recently?
No, bro. I mean, yes, I have.
You don't have to say hot. You would say they were beautiful. Some of them, I'm sure, weren't hot.
Yeah,
Some of them, I'm sure, weren't.
I'm saying, like, seeing these photos, I was like, it's so cool seeing photos of people that were married in the 50s and 60s. They were awesome. This guy's about to ship off to the Navy with like the combed hair. She's got her little frilly. They had style back then. They had style.
That's true.
And you know, they got married at like 20, had kids at 21, 20. Their stories are so much more interesting than our generations. They're just like,
your sons killed themselves at 16.
Well, but like
everything was quick.
Well, yeah, but they had, you know, they're just like, I got a ship to London it was 3 months, and then I went on this whaling ship, and then I learned how to like sell bric-a-brac, and I'm like, dude, these stories are crazy. Like, I'm like, this is insane, you know? So it was very interesting. One thing I will say that it was annoying, we were doing it in boiling hot heat, and we were just like, excuse me, do you have iced water? And every house is like, I'm sorry, I don't keep ice. And they hate the cold.
Yeah.
So they're heating. There's this hot box of old people. I'm just like, I can't breathe. I'm like, is there aircon here? They're just like, I don't know. I'm like, how are you breathing?
They don't care. Dude, old people just start feeling cold sometimes they'll feel cold at 40 degrees.
I don't understand it.
I think when you just get old, you feel colder. That's why like cunts move from like North America to Florida, because they can't handle the cold. Really.
I'll tell you one final one too. There was one lady who was Chinese. Have you ever heard this? The guy goes, what's your story? And she goes, I'm an ABC. Have you heard that?
Australian, ABC?
Yeah.
Australian born Chinese?
Yeah. You just guessed that, didn't you?
I just guessed that. Because there's a term amongst desis called ABCD, which is American born confused desi. These are people that are like, they're
Lost.
brown, but they're always like, I fucking rabbit-ass cat. It's like, oh, you are an ABCD. You are confused, my friend.
Anyway, so she said, "What are you?" And I go, "I'm an ABC." And she goes, "What do you mean?" I go, "Australian-born Croatian."
Oh,
but she was like Chinese, and they were doing. My mate was just like, "Are you the? What's your year? What animal is your year?" Blah blah blah. And she was asking me, or I was asking her. I'm like, "What's my year?" And she's like, I don't know. She's like, "What year were you born?" I was like, 89. And she got out this, went to the cupboard and just got like a book, like, and was like researching. She's like, And it was quite funny. Even an 80-year-old was just like, "I can't find it." And I was like, "Don't worry about it." She goes, "What the hell am I doing? I'll just Google it." Googled it. I'm the year of the snake. Ooh. And my mate was just like, "Bad shine, mate." And I was just like, "Chinese crap doesn't know what it's talking about. I'm not a snake." Yeah. But then I think she was kind of like, no. Snake means good. Good, virtuous, and full of cum or some shit, And I'm just like, all right, whatever. So that's my story. So basically, I agree wholeheartedly with that senator's statement, because anyone in these facilities has like a heart of gold, and it's hard work. I would say it's hard work.
Yeah. Well, okay. On that thing, while we're speaking of
this, that really boring?
No. I mean, it's fair. So the news is essentially South Australian will hold. Yeah. But related to this, have you been following Pauline Hanson? This is a bit old now, but
the Muslim thing,
the Muslim stuff.
Yeah, of course.
I have a view on this. I brought it up even though it's past the news cycle, but I have an observation on it.
Yeah.
But you know the whole background, right? That she basically said there are no good Muslims, blah blah blah.
Yeah, Lakemba or whatever.
And everyone like sort of went.
Even what's his name? Not Alan Jones, the other guy, Ray Hadley or whatever.
But I have a theory as to why all of them have all of a sudden gone against this.
Well, it's an extreme statement. That's why.
I don't think that's the reason. Well,
why?
Pauline Hanson has been making extreme statements for a better part of her life. What is this in particular that's so egregious? You know what it is?
What?
It's the fact that it happened after the leadership spill. I think what happened over here was that the conservative media, Murdoch media, wasn't so keen on Susan Lee for whatever reason, mostly because of net zero stuff.
Yeah.
And I guess the immigration to some extent. Angus Taylor comes in, leadership spill. So they were using Pauline Hanson as like, against Susan Lee. It's like, One Nation is fucking killing it. They're just talking sense. Leadership spill happens. Angus Taylor moves to the right. All of a sudden, the conservative media is like, okay, fine, we can back Liberal again. Then as soon as that is like, you said too much. It's like Sky News is saying she said too much. Bro, your entire programming is shitting on Muslims.
Yeah.
So I think, again, this was just a very crucial point when she said it. And the entire media landscape is like, okay, now we've made our point with the Liberals. We've got our man in. Now you can bury her back again.
Yeah. I mean, that probably is it, actually. I mean, but it is an extreme statement. No mainstream politician is going to be like, she's right.
No mainstream politician is going to be saying that, but it's not shocking. Like, Pauline Hanson,
she says all.
I did see a video. In one instance, she said something that I 100% agreed with.
What?
There's a video. I even showed it to Jordan.
There's
a video from 2018 when she goes to Lakemba.
Yeah.
And some guy asked her, he's like, you come to Lakemba. How you like Lakemba? Lakemba is nice, right? And she said, and then this is my whole heart. She said, this is my first time here. Would I live here? No. And I was just thinking, after she said this, everyone just keeps saying like, Lakemba is fine. People are like, I would love to live in Lakemba. And I was like, okay, Lakemba is fine. I like going to Lakemba as well. Great food. But would I live in Lakemba? No.
There's some truth to what she says.
But Lakemba is fine. She has this idea that, there's a no-go area and people like, it's not that, but it is very.
I mean, look, it's a pretty intense experience going there, but I don't think it's a bad thing.
For you, it is?
Yeah, kind of. It's a bit of a culture shock, but I don't think it's bad. It's just like noticeably
it's a culture
different.
Shock. I never looked at, I suppose. I mean, it is a culture shock in the sense that like it's. Have you been there for the night markets and stuff?
I want to go. I haven't. Isn't it now?
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Ramadan Mubarak, my friend.
Assalamu alaikum.
This is the holy month of Ramadan.
Assalamu LA Lakers.
Wa alaikum salam.
So, when the night market's on now?
Yeah, now for like the next 25 days or something.
Can we go? Can I go with you?
No, I don't want to go because I feel like, first of all,
why?
My problem is the night markets like 3-4 years ago just became massive.
Right.
And like just went super and became like mainstream Australian. So it's like, it's like going to Vivid, but this place is not meant for accommodating so many people, so you can barely find parking. I kind of don't like going there for that reason.
It's busy.
Because white people ruined it.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest.
No, fair.
But now, after all this point stuff, I'm like, oh, thank God, like white people have some reference to it as well.
True.
But yeah, like it's way too busy for me to want to go there.
That's fun. Who cares?
It's good for you. It's an experience. For me, I know that culture.
Right.
Like, so it's not like, oh.
I can't go alone.
This is the same thing. Like, my mother-in-law always says, like, will you take us to Lakemba this year? And I was like, yeah.
And now you've got another person.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll ask Jordan. He'd go.
But yeah, dude, like everyone, also, dude, most of the people that are over there are like fucking not Muslims anyways now.
Because
it's
of that.
like going to the Easter fair.
Easter show.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, look, I want to go either way. Just to check it out.
Yeah, you should definitely check it out. I didn't think of it as like a massive, but like it is in hindsight. Yeah, it would be a big culture.
But would there be a problem if a chick just in a bikini walked down the street there?
Nah, there'll be like a lot of people looking and staring, but no one's gonna go up there and be like, "How dare you?"
You reckon?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Unless they know her and they know that she's some like they know her from like the mosque or some shit or whatever. But if it's a random person in a bikini, people will just ignore.
Okay.
And maybe like amongst themselves go like, downfall of the West kind of thing, you know, those kind of shit. But like, no one's gonna go, how dare you, or like, come to top of the building, I need to throw you off of it.
I don't think that would happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah. No,
or maybe if you start going up to the mosque, they'll be like, oh, you can't go up. Like, yeah.
I guess there's.
But that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, like, how. Maybe it's because I've been to Lakemba so many times that it for me is not shocking. But have you been there often?
Nah, I've been there like once or twice. Jordan took me once for food, and it was really good. But the thing is, you can get that in Rockdale. You can get that in.
And that's why, like, I think these night markets are really good. You should go.
You can get it in bloody Enmore, dude. You don't have to go. There's great Middle Eastern food all around Sydney.
Yeah. And Lakemba, honestly speaking, like, is not even.
But see, this is what
Pauline
I'm saying.
is late. Lakemba has changed, dude. Lakemba used to be Lebanese. Now it's actually for Bangladeshi, Pakistani, Desi immigrants.
Right.
Lakemba used to be, back in the day, Lakemba used to be about 70%
then what's Parramatta?
Lebanese and 30% Islanders.
Right.
This is about like 15, 20 years ago. The Islanders have completely moved in droves to
the hills.
The southwest of Sydney now, like Camden area, Liverpool area.
Oh, yeah.
They've left Lakemba.
Right.
Enterprising Lebanese, as in people that made more money, either moved or they built a massive McMansion, which looks weird, like amongst all these houses. But Lakemba is no longer that like Lebanese stronghold that it used to be.
Yeah, right.
It's still Muslim, but it's not Lebanese Muslim. It's more Desi Muslim. But what I'm trying to say is, like, I think you should go, because like a lot of people have this perception of what Lakemba is like, if it's a no-go area, or like things like you can't wear a bikini over there.
Yeah.
Like you should go. Like if you go there a few times, you'll realize, okay, it's not that.
Right.
it sucks.
I am the like.
It sucks in other reasons, but like not those reasons. You don't feel scared over there.
Right.
Is what I'm trying to say.
The one thing that what I really liked, remember you guys sent me to Fairfield, remember?
Yeah.
And this is a classic thing I always refer to. When I was growing up, when I didn't do my homework, my dad used to threaten me, being like, "Oh, you're not going to do your homework? And then you'll be poor, and then you'll live in Fairfield." He used to threaten me with that. I brought that up to him, and he was just like, he's so PC now. I was like, that was wrong of me. I'm like, bro, you can relax. But
maybe he's saying, Fairfield property has gone up.
Well, I said that to him. He's like, well, you're probably right. But
still the lowest in Sydney, but anyways.
Yeah. But do you remember you guys sent me there for a misadventure? Dude, it was, again, kind of confronting. I had the best time because it's just Little Iraq. It was just all these Iraqis with like moustaches and like.
Fairfield is primarily post 2003 Iraq.
It's all Iraq. It's all Iraq. And I was just like.
And Afghan as well, a few Afghan.
Sure. And I was just like, I wasn't like, there was nothing, didn't feel intimidated or anything like that. It was just a bit of a culture shock. But I was like, I'm going to just fully like immerse myself as much as possible in this place. Dude.
Bro, I wouldn't be surprised if in future Lakemba gets gentrified, by the way.
Well, it happens. Maybe.
The location of Lakemba means that it could eventually get gentrified.
I think gentrification is less of a thing here than, say, in America, but it will. Those patterns
So many places have been gentrified.
Where?
Dude, Marrickville used to be a worker's paradise.
That's true, actually.
Yeah, like
actually, Balmain.
all of the inner west has been gentrified.
You're right.
And now the inner west is expanding to the point where like Ashfield is becoming.
Actually, you're right.
Gentrification is massive, and I'd say Lakemba in the future. The only reason why the property price and like it hasn't been completely gentrified is because of the big Muslim population.
Yeah.
But I think it's a matter of time.
But I'm not done. I wanted to expand on Fairfield.
Yep.
Not only was it like not sketchy, like they were so welcoming. Like I would go into places, they would give me free tea, and they're like, "Have you tried this?" I'm like, "No." They're like, "Try it," and they wouldn't charge me and shit. And I was like, they're really hospitable, really nice. One thing I was wondering though,
Dude, okay, here's another red hot thing. My thing is the more fucked your culture is in terms of human rights, the more hospitable you are.
What's that about?
I think because there's so much, the idea of hospitality is like it's creating a safe space. That if you're a guest, you're safe. And they also like Afghanistan, which, you know, arguably is one of more violent places at the moment. But they have this weird cultural thing where like if your enemy, who you would kill if you see them anywhere, comes and rings your doorbell or knocks on your door and he's a guest, full immunity. For the time being. In fact, not only immunity, you have to like serve them food.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's incredible, but like, you know, whatever. But
that's great.
Yeah.
But one observation I did make though, it was on a weekday. All these motherfuckers were just playing some board game and smoking cigarettes and drinking coffee. I'm like, how do you make money?
Liverpool's the same. They don't make money.
What, Centrelink?
Their kids are working. They might be on Centrelink.
Oh, they were older. They were older gentlemen. No. I don't want to stereotype. Maybe they weren't on Centrelink. Maybe they're just like retired.
Yeah, those people are retired.
Because it was older people. It wasn't.
They're not. These people are like. Their
kids are working.
Their kids are older and working. Yeah. They all live in the same house.
Oh.
Right. So there's no like massive rent expense. These older people
living it up
are retired. Probably on Centrelink as well. But also just like, just smoking and having coffee.
But what is the impetus? And I understand what it is actually, because even though my parents segregated from their Croatian community and left and really moved to an all-white area, I am white, but you know, like an all-white Anglo-Saxon area. I understand the inclination for like racial groups to like congregate in their same circles, but like I'd never seen it to that extent. Like, why is that? Like, surely some of them are like, I want to go to like, I don't know, like Paddington. Or
there's two types of people. Like, for example, my family, when they moved here, not all of them.
And mine did it as well. My parents hung out with Croatians for years.
I don't want to be amongst, but I think what happens is at the end of the day, you're looking for a community. I think my parents would probably be better off in a place like that. They live right now in a really white part of Brisbane. Right. And it's like, they don't have any friends as a consequence kind of thing, you know? So I think it would have been better off if they were living on the south side.
Okay.
It's probably better for property appreciation, which is why we suggested them to go for that suburb.
Nice.
But in terms of community, and I think that's what people are looking for. They look for community.
I understand that. And I mean,
you have to be a very outgoing person to be like, I'm going to start from scratch. I'm going to make a community out of not only strangers, but like strangers from completely different cultures.
That's what my parents did.
It's a difficult thing, yeah.
My parents did it, but they're white, so it's easier.
Yes, but also like they had that mindset. I had that mindset.
Yeah. But the thing is that changed because I think it was actually my mum, because when my dad moved here, he moved to like fucking Winston Hills with all these Croats and was like, yeah, it's cheaper. And then my mum came and she was like, it's quite a funny story. She was just like, what the hell is this? Never come to first time in Australia. And he was like, what? And she's like, this sucks. I'm in Australia. This is shit. I want to be like near the water. Yeah. And Dad was like, but it's Croatians. And then Mum was like, no, we're moving to the fucking coast. Fuck this shit. Yeah. You know? And
that is, your mom's attitude is actually way better. Particularly for Australia, I feel for integration. It's way better to have that attitude.
I'm not saying people have to do that. It's just like, it just intrigued me.
I think you also have better life chances if you do it. The more
opportunity.
More opportunity.
I mean, you could argue that I do the same thing.
You learn a lot more.
Yeah.
You become a better worker. You become a better... I think it has
new
massive advantages.
I mean, you could argue I do exactly the same thing. I hang out with bloody white hipster middle class. You know, I'm not.
Yeah, it's consistent with everyone. You know, like if you're Jewish and moving from Israel, where are you going to go? Bondi, right?
Yeah. So it's just how it happens. I think it was just. I kind of would have liked to go up to him and been like, can I like show you like Manly? It's nice as well, you know? Just to see it.
Yeah, sure.
But then they'd probably be like, why?
They've probably seen it.
Yeah, they've probably seen it. Yeah, that's true. But it was fun.
I mean, you'd rather be more interesting for Manly people to go to Fairfield, you know?
Yeah, that would probably be better.
It'd be like, here's your trip to Asia without ever leaving.
See, that's what I felt like. It was like, wow, this is so like it was really. I'm gonna go back. I want to go back.
But besides Arabic script, that you see at restaurants and whatever stuff, and the fact that like obviously there's a lot more brown people. Is there any other difference?
No, not really.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like more ethnically homogenous than other parts of Sydney. It's just.
Well, I mean, you can go to North Shore. It's very ethnically homogenous.
No, that's not really. Where? Chatswood's,
bro. If you
mainly
let me
Chinese.
take you to the Central Coast, and I will see you with
that's different.
Homogeneity is.
That's not the North Shore.
I went to Newcastle, Christmas Carol, bro. Oh my god. I have never seen so many white people. As far as the eye could see, there was white.
Yeah, Newcastle.
And you know what? I was.
It's Newcastle.
I happened to be there, and dude, you know what I noticed?
What?
Literally the only, not like the only non-white person in that entire, entire fucking.
Did you feel
field of people
threatened?
No. Because I've been.
Obviously
again, that's why I'm saying you should go to Lakemba. You'll stop feeling threatened.
Yeah,
People
I know,
are like,
that's chill.
It's not threatening, and again, I have the same thing as you, which is like, wow, there's a lot of fucking white people over here and no one else.
Yeah.
But not like, oh, they're gonna gang up on me and kill me or anything.
Yeah, of course
That's
not.
why like Pauline's like things like you'll have the same thing. You'll be like, oh my god, there's so many Arabs here.
Yeah.
But like, I don't think you had ever point, well, like, what if they all kill me?
No,
like,
totally.
No one's trying to do that.
I mean, that was the same thing in Fairfield. I was like, oh, this is, but they were really lovely and like super inviting.
Yeah,
and,
dude.
It's actually like kind of it's interesting. It's an interesting thing.
In hindsight, I'm actually glad that Lakemba night markets exist, because I think you need this cultural revolution where people from Queensland should be put on buses and taken to Lakemba for night markets, just so they get like, okay, there is a cultural shock.
They'll bring
but it's not as bad as you think it is.
They'll bring their own beer. Be careful with that.
There's pubs there, bro.
Oh yeah, there's pubs there. Yeah, of course.
No one's like fucking stoning the pub or anything. It exists. It's actually pretty close to the mosque as well.
Yeah, true. I'm going to go to the night market, seriously.
Yeah, I'll take you.
No, you don't have to. You don't have to.
Yeah, well,
but I'd like to. Hey, this will be a good introduction for me before I go to Pakistan.
Yeah, true.
But my point is that like I don't want to set myself up for disappointment with the food, because there's so much good food everywhere. Like if you
okay, let's talk about strictly food.
Yeah.
Lakemba night market is not the best place to.
Maybe we should fuck it
because
off then.
all of them are like these pop-up cart type stuff. Most of them,
not good,
and they're like seasonal. It's more if you're a food connoisseur, then definitely restaurants. But they're also so busy. I would not even recommend the night markets as the time to do it. In fact, during Ramadan, there's a lot of places. Lakemba is not one of them, because it's just too busy. There's a lot of other places in Auburn, Lidcombe, Fairfield.
Shit, maybe I've never been to Lakemba.
That will actually have a better time at the moment.
Dude, maybe I've never been to Lakemba.
The
just
night markets
Auburn.
are like for white people now.
That's so interesting.
It's just like people from Sydney all over Sydney, even regional. They come over there to experience the Arabness.
The Arabness.
The food itself is like mid.
Yeah, well, then I don't want to go.
Yeah, if you're a food connoisseur, don't go.
I want to go for the food.
Go, if you want a cultural experience, go.
I'm less interested. Less interested.
Fair enough.
The food.
That's why,
would be good.
because I'm not interested in the cultural experience. For one, I know that cultural experience.
Yeah.
So I'd rather.
Plus,
not go
like Fatima's in Redfern's really good.
It is.
You know what I mean? Like there's great food everywhere.
But man, there's great. You gotta come. You gotta come that way.
You gotta find. There's a really good place in Rockdale. It's amazing near the beach there. I forget what it's called. Is it Sammy's? Or did you just say that? It's something else.
One of my favorites is again. It's gotten famous amongst Asians and white people now, so I'm not gatekeeping anymore. But it's called New Star Kebabs in Auburn.
Cool. You know what's crazy? We will stop talking about food, but you know what's crazy? You're just gonna be like, shut up. But it did change hands, so it's definitely a few stars less now. But still, The best kebab I've ever had is in Katoomba.
I don't believe that.
Bro, it's an old Turkish guy that's been there since the 70s. I will take you, my friend.
You take me.
But the problem is,
doubt it.
it's changed hands now. It used to be a 10 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like a 7.5, 8 out of 10.
One day, come to my house. I'll take you to some of those places.
Yeah.
And I'll feed
All
you
right.
some real kebabs.
You reckon?
We gotta go to like some real. These places aren't even meant. So the places I'm gonna take you aren't even meant for like for white people to come and be happy. With. These are fucking refugee spots.
I want the refugee spots.
You gotta come with me.
Can you take me to a place that does that Dubai kebab shit where they fry, where they char the kebab, or is that shit?
What, char the kebab?
That's a thing now.
What do you mean?
There's a kebab and they char it and.
All right, let's start talking about food.
Sorry.
But our next segment is really important. I wish I should have discussed this with Jordan on the uplay, but I'll do it for the next one. Did you hear John Barilaro is a pest inspector now in your local area too?
Oh,
Is that
sure.
North Shore? What do you think about that?
What do I think about it? Hilarious and saddening.
It's a little sad, right?
It's like I saw the photo of him smiling. It's like, bro, it's.
I mean, as a pest inspector, you got to smile. You got to get them clients.
Dude.
I love how he's that guy. I can't remember the name, but Jordan and I went to Melbourne.
I feel bad
to see
for him.
that YouTuber who's the site inspector.
Oh yeah, well, look at this, bro.
Yeah, he was like, dude, he was a Barilaro as well.
Yeah, of course.
He completely fits in.
Yeah, dude, I shouldn't, but I feel very sad for him. He's got like the job I have, basically. Worse.
But I reckon he has only to blame himself for it.
Yeah, he does. But
And it's not just about
you can still show mercy.
You can show mercy, but also like, dude, if you're gonna be having like
Dodgy.
affairs and all of that shit, and your wife's gonna like take your house, and you're also gonna be like a dodgy politician that entire time.
Yeah, nefarious
Like,
things in Griffin too.
I mean,
you
if
know?
you make decisions and you end up
Allegedly.
paying for it. If you weren't like, if he wasn't like that, then he would probably still have a cushy job somewhere.
Yeah,
but he just went
I agree.
too fucking
I know, but when I see that smile,
BRUZ about his entire political career.
dude, I know, but when I see that smiling face with a little like Pest logo, I'm like, not like this.
Yeah, you don't see Gladys as like, an HK worker.
No, bro.
So like,
do you think he needs the
clearly
money?
You fucked up.
Do you think he needs the money?
Yeah,
And, dude. Let's
he did.
be honest. Jordan did it.
Yeah, but he was
Good on him.
He was a valid candidate to be.
Of course, but I'm
Because
saying
at some point
it's just-
you got to
No.
make sure that like
No, I get it, but it's a crazy thing.
Yeah.
Like he wields so much power. Like, dude, that guy Marcus Paul.
yeah.
Actually, this was my fault. He did this attack on him, right? This is an interesting thing. You know, Marcus Paul was like this labor shield. Yeah, prawny. He was about to. He was writing the script and he was about to film it. And I was like, bro. Jordan was asking for advice about it, and I was like, because I watched his video, and I was like, man, you know what you should say in the video? And he's like, what? I'm like, just say, dude, I know you're attacking him, but it's obvious he's a fan. And Jordan was like, what do you mean? He's like, he's not. He's doing what his job requires him to do, but he obviously likes you. You can tell the way he's speaking. Like, forget what he's saying. He's a fan. And then Jordan included that into his like, and come on, you're a fan. And he reached out. He went on Jordan's show. They would go on each other's shows. They became his fan. What happened? He got fired, and now he works at the airport. We saw him at the airport.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
I don't want to talk about it. That's sad. What's he doing there?
Baggage handling.
Yeah.
So Jordan wields serious power.
Yeah, but Jordan get prawny fired.
I got him fired because I said he's a fan. Put an olive branch out. Jordan said,
But Prawn took it.
yes, and then got fired because of it. Because of me. It's really me. Because what would have
That
happened?
makes me real sad.
Yeah, so I feel horrible. I'm like, man, I shouldn't have said he's an. I should as soon as it's like I tried to make people come together with love, and what happened? Disaster for him, for one person anyway.
So are you saying that you should set up a meeting between the new pest inspector and Jordan? You
What do
can
you
do
mean?
it. Extend the olive branch.
It's too late, dude. It's
Just be. Oh my god! If Jordan was such a like, I don't know, like you could hire his services. Just
You know he's gonna do it. You know he's gonna do it for a video. He's gonna do it.
nah, that's too slack. I think that's even.
He's too slack. Come on, who are we talking about here?
And I'm sure, please
He's
tell me,
gonna
I'm
do
sure that
it.
he owns the business and he has other people going and doing it.
I sincerely hope so.
Surely he's not rocking up. Surely he's not one of those guys that you're working with just being like, labor sucks. Why? Because
Evolution isn't real.
Evolution is. Surely he's not that guy. Just breaking his back. He's like, I used to be a deputy mayor. Sorry, deputy premier. Just like your guys. It's like, no, dude. Stop lying.
I really hope not.
You were never a deputy. Oh, I swear to God, bro. I had houses. I had 3 houses.
Dude, I sincerely hope he's not doing that. Like, I'm not saying he's a good guy, but like, I don't know, man. It's just, it really, like, he dropped off. It's really hard to see someone drop off, because it happens. Yeah. It happens. Like, it happens a lot. And it's like, oh, bro, that's hard.
Look, I will agree with you. Jordan is to blame for a lot of it, but his own decisions were chiefly responsible.
Of course. Jordan just held him accountable, really. Yeah. It's true. I'm not blaming Jordan, dude. I'm saying, like,
dare I say that that's exactly what he was meant to do? Nah, that's too
he probably still has connections. So for all,
and we're probably gonna get a defamation notice as well.
Yeah,
now.
for all.
But he's got no money to do it this time around.
Our official stance is good on you. I hope the business does well.
Yeah, dude, for sure. Like, just don't overcharge people. Don't see an old person and go like
that. That happens in a lot of trades.
It happens in a lot of trades. So please just learn and don't do it. But otherwise, all the power to you.
Crazy, dude. Crazy politics.
All right, let's do our last segment.
Yeah.
Have you heard about this monkey gate?
No.
You don't know about the Japanese monkey zoo?
No. Nothing.
Oh my God. Well, there's no point in doing the segment now.
Why? Just explain it.
But it's like a global phenomena.
What is it?
The monkey that was abandoned.
Oh, I have heard.
And he was like holding on to like
very sweet.
The stuffed toy.
Very sweet.
You saw that?
Yeah.
There was like a massive internet
reaction.
Anger towards the zoo and just being like, this monkey is being abused.
Why?
No one cares about, because the monkey was apparently the monkey was recently introduced to this tribe of monkeys, right? And he hadn't been accepted, so he was getting beaten up. Jesus. And every time like he would get shunned, he would go to that stuffed toy for comfort.
Oh.
And the internet was looking at it and going like, this is abuse. The older monkey that punched him needs to be arrested.
Can't arrest a monkey, but okay.
Apparently, Andrew Tate said, I'll buy the abandoned monkey for $250,000, which would be the worst idea on earth.
I don't think he should have a monkey like Michael Jackson. Yeah. No.
But the good news is, apparently, none of this is required because the monkey has been accepted by the family now.
Well, great. So wait, are you saying that the internet had an irrational overreaction and the professionals actually knew what they were doing the whole time?
In fact, the zoo had to come out and say, like, guys, this is like... These sort of dynamics happen all the time in Animal Kingdom. Like,
absolutely.
And we're looking out for the monkey. We'll make sure the monkey doesn't get killed.
It doesn't.
But also we're hoping that it goes back into the thing because like you want monkeys to be amongst other monkeys.
People are so dumb. It doesn't take a genius to know that it's like, this isn't... They don't... Monkeys, you know what? Monkeys also don't go to the movies and buy popcorn and eat it. It's a fucking wild animal. You need to let them play out their rituals. Like, what, you know what I mean? Like, you can't just...
It's a pretty brutal ritual. You saw it, right?
Nature's beautiful. Brutal. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Nature's brutal, bro. Are you kidding me? Nature's the most brutal thing ever. As Jordan Peterson says, you all love nature and you're all hippies. And
but you know what that
brutal.
was? That was basically an immigrant story.
Oh, here we go.
The monkey was from outside.
Here we go.
The monkey initially was like, he's not from here.
Okay.
He's not part of the tribe.
All right.
And then some empathetic monkey said, guys... we can have a little bigger family. Look at the monkey. He's just, and people were like, this monkey has issues. He's never been around other monkeys. This monkey could go insane at any moment.
And it's great to have the MSNBC perspective here from our co-host.
Am I wrong?
I knew that there would be a way to extrapolate immigration to every story on Earth.
That monkey is a refugee.
Hey, look, I suppose that could be made. That argument
and that stuffed toy is Islam.
Is Islam Takia? Oh wait, no. You're saying it's like it's a vacuous.
I think it's the comfort.
Yeah.
You're mean to me, Islam.
Yeah. It's just like it's this.
It's a joke.
It's
a fucking joke.
A vacuous dead animal is Islam. Fucking. Oh God!
Some parallels. What would Jesus do? Would Jesus accept the monkey?
No, I'm with you. Of course.
And what would Pauline do?
Well, it depends if the monkey is of the same tribe, I suppose.
Or if the monkey is into fish and chips.
Yeah, which I'd imagine they are. I don't know.
All right. Do we have any other segments? I think, well, there was the one that Trump's tariffs are knocked off by Supreme Court. Did you hear about that?
I would like to talk about this quickly because I read that and I was like, this seems like a big deal. I don't have time in my life anymore to read a headline.
It is a massive deal, actually.
Can you please?
It's a huge deal.
Give it to me.
Because it basically like blunts.
Who blocked it? Dems or Republicans as well?
The Supreme Court. So what would happen? So Trump put all of these tariffs on different countries. He's
doing it for ages.
The last year, he's been negotiating. All of that becomes irrelevant all of a sudden. So he's been negotiating with all of these countries, right? Yeah. You get 18%. You get 25%. Yeah. Scratch my belly. All right, 16%. Yeah. So he's been doing all of that, and he did all of this under these emergency powers from fucking 1970. It's this law that existed, right? And that case had been in Supreme Court. The argument was that the president does not have the powers to use this law to impose tariffs on countries. And the lawsuit was from people that eventually had to pay the tariffs. So they were the ones that were importing stuff from like different countries. And so they were paying the tariffs on them. So they put a case. The Supreme Court, I honestly didn't look into the legal matters of it, but I thought the Supreme Court surely will not rule against Trump on this because it just fucks up the entire foreign policy that's been happening for a year. Also, are you saying that the president does not have the authority to put tariffs on?
Yeah, there's an argument to say they've done more damage
but what they didn't say that. What they said was like the law that was used by president was an overreach. So the president cannot use this law to put tariffs. That means there's possibly other laws that he can use for tariffs. But what in effect has, the Supreme Court just basically said all tariffs are gone, right? Then Trump used another law to put a blanket 10, which he's now saying is going to be 15% tariff on every country. Okay. So there's a few things that's happened as a consequence of this. One, all of the 1 year of his foreign policy completely wasted. Right?
Shit.
All the negotiations. Can you think about it? Like,
it's embarrassing for him.
He took massive foreign policy hits. He antagonized Canada. He antagonized Mexico.
Before you go on,
he antagonized China.
Before you go on, just quickly, would this happen in China? Does there a Supreme Court that can overrule Xi?
No.
Okay, sorry. Go on. That's what I just wanted to ask.
Xi will have way more control over the Supreme Court.
So he tariffs Australia.
So
everyone.
His entire, essentially 1 year of a lot of negotiations are like completely out of the window.
There was no Supreme Court in The Apprentice.
No Supreme Court in The Apprentice. The second thing is now he can still apply tariffs using different laws, but his main instrument was this knife of tariffs, which has been brutally blunted, right?
Yes.
The third issue is, technically speaking, all the tariffs that have already been collected are eligible for refunds.
No.
Which is amounting to close to $200 billion. I think $165 billion or something.
Trump's going to nuke a country.
That's the thing. This causes more confusion. First of all, what country in their right mind is going to go up to Trump? All right, Trump, your Supreme Court told you you're a loser. Give me my money back.
What a mess.
Also, Trump's never going to fucking pay this money back, right?
Yeah, but what if he legally has to?
He's going to make an excuse. He's put it in like a fund. That money he's not good. I don't think anyone's expecting that money to come back to them. What they're actually excited about is the fact that like this whole tariff situation has come to an end because every country on earth was scared of Trump because if you go on Trump's bad side, then he's going to put like huge amounts of tariffs on you.
Jesus.
It changes the entire calculus.
This is crazy. Has he come out with some, is he tweeting about it?
Yeah, he's shitting on the Supreme Court.
Are they all
The problem is, no, the Supreme Court is like
a mix.
It's 6-3, 3 Dems, 6 Republicans, and they voted for this 6-3, as in 3 Republicans switched over.
Do you think that if you're
and by the way, every Republican behind like establishment Republican behind closed doors are excited. They love the fact that this power has been taken away from Trump.
Do you think that you'd think that a Supreme Court judge is you would hope an unbiased person that is trying to uphold the law irrelevant of their own?
I mean, unbiased, I don't know. But, like, they definitely have the power to do what they've done. That's the entire job of the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is supposed to say whether...
Did they do it because it was unlawful or they disagree with it?
I reckon they did it because it was unlawful. You got to think about it. 3 Republicans switched as well, which means that the law that Trump relied on. Again, I should do the research on this, and I can give you a better. But I'm sure that the law that Trump relied on was a flimsy one to begin with. Now, if you're a Republican judge and a flimsy, and the executive has used a flimsy law where it doesn't apply, and it comes to you, you're gonna say that the president overreached on this one.
Yeah, he's gonna be pissed.
He was livid, absolutely livid, because it was his most favorite policy. You know, the tariff policy.
Tariffs. I don't understand. Okay, that's crazy news.
On one hand, I do think that I understand. Again, once I look into it, I'll give you a better idea. But I do understand the Supreme Court. He probably used this law. It was a bad law to use for this. But the idea that a president cannot impose tariffs, I don't like that idea. I mean, a president should be able to impose tariffs.
Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting.
Like if we
question.
decide, if Australians decide, like if let's say tomorrow there's a Labor government and decides that we want to put a 60% tariff on
Korea
Chinese goods for whatever reason. I'm not saying it's a good idea or bad idea. It might be it's a terrible idea because we sell to them and they'll do the same thing on us. But we should have the ability to do this.
It's an interesting question about sort of the power of the president, because this, even though, like you said, it seems like not the thing to go on him on, even if it's the right thing to do, not the right thing to do, even if it's bad for the country or good for the country, it's kind of irrelevant. It's like, I don't know if that's the right thing to, because like you said, it's like, well, then what is the power?
But he used some ancient freaking law. I'm sure, I wish I was more informed on this, and I will get more informed on this, but I bet you he used a law that was way beyond the scope of the shit that he was doing.
But countries always put tariffs on each other today.
But you need to rely on the right law.
And different countries have different legalities about who and what they can do with it. Yeah. Look, it's actually less of a bombshell than I thought, because it's kind of like, well, no, it's a massive bombshell.
If I was Trump, I would be so livid.
I know. But like I know, okay, it's almost like this thing of like, you're so deep down a rabbit hole that it's like, man, you got to keep digging. It probably would have been good just to leave it, to not overturn it. Because it's like, dude, I know it's crazy, but like, you got to let him kind of finish this.
I think on one hand, like for foreign policy perspective, every other country is really happy about this.
Yeah, I know, but
so
look, I don't even know my opinion.
What's Supreme Court has done some damage control.
Yeah,
because every country was really pissed off at Trump and the U.S. as
well. It's kind of a good.
I wonder how it's going to affect his Canadian foreign policy. It's like there's so much stuff that was happening based on these tariffs. I'm sure he's going to introduce tariffs again, using a different law, which, by the way, will again be challenged in court.
Yeah, you know what it has done though? It has shown that like daddy can smack the child sometimes. Like the courts do have power in democracies.
It has also showed that like daddy can sometimes be abusive.
Yeah, and like
not only can he smack, but an abusive daddy can smack really hard and unwarranted.
Because let's be real, up until now the courts haven't done shit. He's just been disobeying the courts. It's just there's been court orders.
No, the court has been on his side. Like a lot of the big things, the court has ruled in his favor.
Yeah, but a lot of the things, like you can't just randomly export people to like. People need trials. You can't just export people, like ship them off. He was doing that. I'm talking about the
Supreme Court.
Hey?
So federal courts in the U.S. are against Trump. Right. Most of them.
Yeah.
I mean, when you go to red states and stuff, you will find federal judges that are pro-Trump as well. But overwhelmingly, I would not be surprised if a majority of them don't like Trump. But the Supreme Court is different because the Supreme Court is handpicked by the president. So when there's a Republican president, they get conservative. And the thing is, right now, Trump has appointed way more Supreme Courts because they've died and stuff in his terms. So the current ratio is 6-3. 6 pro-Trump, 3 against Trump.
I can't believe they voted again for the tariff thing.
That just tells me that he was way out of his reach with this tariff stuff. He probably needs a better legal team. I think there's a bit of arrogance in him, which is like, I'm the president, I can do anything I want.
Yeah.
And it's like,
not in America.
Just do it in a better way. Like, get a better legal team. Don't depend on like these, these Epstein lawyers
dodgy
to like decide on like, if you just have a better lawyer team, I think like a lot of your problems will be solved.
Just these dodgy ex-mobster, like. They were prosecuting against, like they were prosecuting for ex-mobsters and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. I need to see his reaction because he's going to be, dude, he's going to do something crazy.
It is the worst thing. I will literally, if I was Trump, I would, in fact, if I was his diplomat, I would shoot myself in the head. Because what you're saying is like, you have made me go so hard at every country. It's taken me years to negotiate this. We've antagonized every country on earth. And now you're saying it was all for nothing?
It's actually not the right move. I hate to say it. They fucked up.
Nah, but if he's overreaching, then like the court has to step in.
Maybe it's not the right move.
And I think it's a good lesson for him too. Is like, you just do it in proper ways.
Look, the president is supposed to have checks and balances. He's not supposed to be a dictator. He's not supposed to.
Someone said if he had a better team, he wouldn't be doing tariffs, which I suppose is true. But at the same time, it's like, a president should have the ability to do tariffs.
What?
And I think not all tariffs are bad.
We've talked about this. Are tariffs bad? Are tariffs good?
I'm not. I am not against it. I think some of the stuff that he was using the tariffs for, Trump's methodology of tariffs is bad. But I think tariffs as a general is not a bad idea.
By definition, what is the economical advantage of tariffs?
To protect your industry, and also
because you tax competitors. Imports.
Yeah. So the idea is like, if you, let's say you're a Chinese producer of cars, and I'm an Australian producer of cars. Now that doesn't exist, but let's assume I'm an Australian producer of cars.
Holden.
Now, you sell your car for let's say $20,000. I sell my car for $20,000. There's an equilibrium. Now, then the Australian consumer can decide whether I want the Chinese car or the Australian car. Now, let's assume that you can sell your car for $10,000. For whatever reason, maybe you have cheaper electricity. Maybe you come from a really oil-rich country and you have cheaper electricity. Maybe your labor is cheaper, whatever the reason. But you can produce that same car for $10,000.
The free market.
But I produce it for $20,000. Yeah. Now, what's going to happen is the Australian consumer is going to look at it as like, well,
it's cheaper.
$10,000 is a big number. So all of a sudden, I, as an Australian producer, will kind of go out of business. Now, so what the government can do, there's a $10,000 tariff on foreign imports. Right?
So what, the citizens get stung?
Wait, this is not the end of the story because I need you to understand the full aspect. Now what happens is your car, even though you're producing it for $10,000, you have to pay, Australian buyers will have to pay $10,000 on top of it if they want to buy a Chinese car. Because I'm spending at $20,000, then they can make a decision, and the Australian consumer doesn't go away. But the negatives of this is, as soon as you do that, the Australian consumer is never going to make a good car anymore because he is being subsidized. There's no incentive for that person to figure out, why the fuck is China making a car for $10,000? I'm making it for $20,000. Like, I need to figure out a way to get better at this. Yeah. That part gets stalled.
Yes.
So there's negatives and positives to.
Interesting.
And Trump likes, and then you can also use these tariffs as like,
bargaining.
As like
bargaining chips.
Like, it can affect your currency value as well. So you can do certain things to affect your currency value. If you believe that your currency is high, like Trump believes that the dollar is high. The reason why he believes the dollar, that's why he thinks that people aren't importing a lot of American stuff. If American dollar was the same value as Australian dollars, it would become competitive. So he uses tariffs to affect that as well.
He wants the American dollar to be weaker.
I think so, yeah. I think he wants the American dollar to lose value up to 20%.
Why?
Because he thinks that will make American exports more
tantalizing
for foreign governments.
Is that true?
Perhaps to some extent, but it's not like a killer that he thinks. And I believe he's using crypto. So it's federal crypto reserve banks to do this.
So it's bailing out American companies, and the taxpayer cops the price.
Yeah, technically the consumer pays.
Yeah.
So if you're buying a car that's worth $10,000, but now you have to pay $20,000, you're still paying $20,000. So at the end of the day, the tariffs are being paid by the consumer. But the idea is that it can also discourage the consumer. So I'm paying $20,000, but I go, I don't want to buy a car that's originally $10,000, but I have to pay. So I'll just get the Australian one. So that's the idea. Like, the tariff also is to disincentivize your population to buy imported stuff.
Well, look, I mean, it's not like retardation. It's an economic theory that has some merit.
I believe so. I think that there's a lot of free marketers and neoliberals And I do want to do them credit. They have a lot of reasons as to I'm this weird scenario that I found myself in the post-Trump era, which is that throughout my, university days, ever since I was a kid, the dominant worldview was that tariffs are horrible. You want to believe in comparative advantage. You want to produce what's best for you.
Well,
open global market,
especially if you're trying to foster ingenuity and entrepreneurialism.
That's the theory, and I was always against this. Like, I thought that tariffs are actually a good methodology, and protectionism isn't always bad. In some cases, it can be really bad, but in some cases, you need it.
Sure.
But then you also need to do other things to be able to still incentivize your industry.
Yes.
Which mainstream thought that was like a relic of the past. They call it mercantilism. And this guy's like, living in his old world. But and I'll tell you why I believed it even then. I believed it because I looked at countries like Korea. I looked at countries like Japan. I looked at countries like China.
They did all that.
All of them, in my lifetime, they were the success stories, right? I didn't have, look how rich UK got. No, UK got rich when, before my grandfather was born. In my lifetime, I saw these East Asian countries starting to make money and get developed. And I also had the example, and this is what lefties will hate, and was the Latin American model. The Latin American model was different. They believed in, anyway, there's a whole different thing. But one of the things that the East Asians I saw were getting better was because they were doing economic nationalism to some extent, where they were exporting, but they kept their tariffs higher, which initially meant that their countries had the worst, like, cars. Again, we'll use an example of cars. I remember, like, these countries, like, Vietnam, Korea, they used to have shit cars back in the day.
Yeah.
Because they were protected cars. All the great cars were coming from Europe and later on from Japan and the US. But there were such high tariffs on these countries to import these foreign cars that they had to make do with their really shitty cars.
Cuba.
Right. Well, Cuba's different. Cuba had an embargo.
Oh, okay.
These people did it out of choice. Cuba was forced into this situation.
True.
They did it out of choice. And so when you would go to these countries, you would go like, what the fuck? This country's shit. Like, all these cars are fucking... you go to other countries, for example, a country like Pakistan that didn't put on tariffs. When I was growing up, my dad had a BMW. And we live in a country that's poor, but the tariffs don't exist. So and so obviously when I would go to like a different country and the cars are like really shitty, I'd go like this. But the advantage that they had was because they're domestic, they slowly started getting better at it. To the point where now Korea produces Kia. Now everyone wants it. Pakistan doesn't do any of that. They're still relying on imported cars. They're just buying Kias now.
Yes.
And so I looked at it and go like, look, economic nationalism doesn't always have to be bad.
Yes.
It for more developed countries like America, it's less of an advantage. The tariffs usually have repercussions. But for like growing economies, I think it's a great tool.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you institute tariffs, the medicine is hard to take, but maybe that's a bad analogy. It's like it builds your muscle. It's like, I'm skinny. It's like, well, the only way you're going to get better is tariffs, because then you can build it up yourself.
But then you also need a very good government to make sure that once you've put tariffs, that they're not just like, these fat cats that are like depending on government subsidies and not still making anything good.
They're still innovating.
You still need to incentivize and innovate and the whole thing. But I think this tariffs, if I would want that up my sleeve. I wouldn't use it like Trump is, which is why I find myself in this weird position where like I have to tariffs are good, but like what he's doing is bad. Is like,
yeah. Do you think Trump would argue like, the medicine's hard to take, but we have to take it kind of thing?
That's what he would argue, but I believe that he's giving the wrong medicine.
Yeah, but he obviously thinks if you subsidize industry in America and punish, let's be honest, he mainly wants to punish the world. He's mainly punishing other countries. But I don't think he's that dumb that he doesn't realize that, yes, one side of it is punishing the world and saying, we can do this because we're great. But surely the other side to the coin, he actually thinks that by subsidizing companies in America, it will foster innovation.
Yeah, he thinks that. It's going to do the exact opposite. Because it's going to make it less innovative.
Because they'll just be used to the check.
Yeah. Exactly. Obviously, like all of these companies.
Why?
Well, for one,
I mean, Tesla innovates, right? You can't. I know everyone hates it.
Yeah, it has. But the next 50 years is not going to look the same if you create a protectionist subsidized market for particularly cutting edge stuff.
Is he doing tariffs like to Tesla get?
Yeah, dude. All of this AI money is government subsidy.
Yeah. Wow.
Most of it is government subsidy. He's doing it heavily with them. The other thing is, this is I feel is going to be the Achilles heel of American artificial intelligence technology compared to the Chinese one.
Yeah.
America more and more being afraid of intellectual property theft, because China has, taken all that, is becoming more and more protectionist and consolidating all of them amongst these private entities. Because the idea of this AI technology being available to many people feels like it's going to be stolen, and then our competitive edge is going to be gone. In reality, you need more brains to work on this, because what AI is today, or whatever technology you have, from that some other amazing stuff is going to emerge. And that can only happen if your market is not protectionist. You're not saying only SpaceX is allowed to do this, only OpenAI is allowed to do this.
You sure?
This is my view.
Okay.
This is absolutely my view. I think this is the worst decision that America is making right now, is to make AI more and more closed.
But
and they're only offering subscriptions to other countries and other places.
But devil's advocate, China does steal a lot of ideas from America.
Every country does. You cannot be I'll give you a sports analogy. Now, let's say you're a cricket team, right? And you came up with this new concept that you can paddle the ball back and it goes all the way for six.
What do you call it when you flip the bat and go?
Or reverse sweep, any kind of innovation, right? Yeah. So you bring in this innovation. Now you're the only team, Mislav, you're the only team that does it.
But that's different.
Your first instinct, obviously everyone else is going to want to steal this. Now you can either decide that I'm going to protect this one trade of this thing. You're going to get stuck in this. The idea is
You mean patent it, copyright it, maybe?
I'm saying you can patent and copyright it. Some companies can. But the idea that but even the patent, it shouldn't be very restrictive. You should allow more and more people to engage with these technologies, and with greater number of brains, you'll have more and more development. What I see in China as opposed to the US, and there's no doubt that China stole a lot of stuff. I'm not agreeing with that. But so did America from Britain when it was growing. Yeah. It's not unique. And so did Britain from Netherlands when it was growing. Again, Dutch, it's not unique. So this has been forever. But the one thing that America should, what China is doing is it's still keeping it open, because it feels that America is slightly ahead or whatever. So it's trying to get as many companies,
more brains,
as many companies as possible to have access to this so that they can develop it. DeepSeek is an open-ended. Yes. I don't know the exact terminology, but it's an open-ended where you can essentially get their source code and redevelop it and play around with it.
Yeah.
OpenAI is not doing this, because they're afraid that OpenAI will be stolen.
Interesting.
And I say that this, in the next 50 years, is going to be the biggest mistake that you've ever done.
Interesting.
Where slowly, American tech and artificial intelligence will be less innovative and less cutting edge than the Chinese one.
There's an easy way to figure this out, which we don't have time for. But if you looked throughout history at the effects of coveting information versus having it public access, and then seeing the level of development and
there were two economies during the Cold War: a protectionist one and an open one.
Russia and America.
There was
Russia was the protectionist.
You know what Russia was doing? Always protecting its industry. It's always what America did. Fine, we developed this new genetically modified seed. We're going to give it to India. We're going to give it to other people. We're going to expand it. And so their footprint kept increasing. So I'm saying we're in a similar kind of Cold War, but this time we're on the Soviet Union side.
Fuck. Oh, shit.
I think transparency and openness is going to be critical for this technology to progress at a pace that you want it to do. No matter how genius Elon is, and no matter how genius that Altman guy is, they cannot beat 300 million people collectively.
It probably is just a numbers game. You're right. And information does just leak eventually.
They're saying, someone said, what if IP is owned by workers rather than companies, say artists? I absolutely agree with that. That's exactly the sort of stuff that, that's a whole different argument, but that's but I agree with that.
Yeah.
They're called cooperatives, and I think they don't stifle innovation,
No, they don't stifle innovation.
No, but people, there's an argument they do.
No way.
Anyways, we're over time.
All right. Well, look.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Thank you for joining us.
Stick around for the Up Late with Jordan Shanks.
Yes.
He's going to be on it.
Yeah.
And otherwise, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.